Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Change Bible Study. I'm Chris Bailey. We're in a study of Matthew chapter 22, and we're looking at the marriage feast. And the most important element of this whole parable is the wedding garment. The reason why there's a party in the first place. It was a love of the Father for his Son. It was a love of the Father then that wanted others. He wanted his people to come and experience the fellowship and celebrate the wedding of his Son. And then we see now, when we get to the wedding feast and there's somebody who's standing out, they're standing out not because they're good or bad. It doesn't even say in the parable who they are. But Jesus, as he's telling us this parable, indicates that it was the absence of the wedding garment. That was the issue. So it was the absence of the wedding garment that was more important than the presence of their badness. Because remember, he invited and he instructed his servants to invite the bad and the good. It was the wedding garment that was more critical than their goodness, because there were good people there. The parable says bad and good. But the wedding garment was more important than that. So now we're going beyond ourselves, hopefully, to see this is not something that you and I can do, because the wedding garment is Jesus Christ. More specifically, it's the righteousness of Christ. Because when you go to Jeremiah, go back in the Old Testament, look at Jeremiah in chapter number 23. Jeremiah, like Isaiah, like Ezekiel, and the other prophets that we see here in the Old Testament, were all sent to speak to a particular group of people that we identify as Israel. And I'm not talking about geopolitical Israel. We're talking about spiritual Israel that was first manifested in the spiritual promise to the one that we know as Abraham. Abraham would go to establish a nation. Again, we're not talking about a nationality. We're not talking about a people group or a place. We're talking about a faith idea and a faith reality that would manifest itself in every single person that puts their trust in God through Jesus Christ, his Son. So now here you've got Jeremiah in his time, not looking back at the cross like us, but looking to the cross, looking to redemption, looking to Messiah. And he's calling Israel, the sons and daughters of faith, to have faith in Jesus. Jeremiah chapter 23, it's here that we discover who, not just what, but who the wedding garment is. It says, in his days, Judah shall be saved. Now, remember, there came a point in time when the kingdom of Israel was divided in two. Israel to the north and Judah and a few of the tribes to the south. In fact, go up and look at verse number 5. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is the name whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. Do you see the reunion where the nation that was split has now been united? But they've been united under a banner of love. They're wearing the same clothes. Their goodness and their badness are immaterial, because their badness would keep them out of promise, and their goodness is not enough to get the promise. So what did they have to have? What do we have to have? What was worn in Matthew 22? Jesus was trying to teach us that he is our righteousness. Having him on. In other words, being in him is our righteousness. It is not just what gives us entrance into heaven. It is what gives us abiding in heaven. That's why no one will ever be able to kick us out of glory, because we are there on the basis of the righteousness of Christ, the wedding garment. Now, I know some of y'all might be listening and say, you know what, Chris, this sounds good. This sounds cute. And it is powerful and it is good, but it's not cute. Because did you know that Matthew chapter 22 is actually a parable of reality? We're going to talk about that in the next study. In Revelation, be sure to go to that one, because it's in this study that the righteousness gets real.